there is at least like one person that sometimes I speak to all the thoughts that I have in my head, but not like a lot of people. The reason for which I feel good is because is it because it's a long time I don't speak a lot with people? No, it's not that. Anyways, I was just thinking, I was reflecting about what would I like to do in my life and all of that. And I was just letting my thoughts run, like horses freely. And that is like a really good feeling. Just free horses running in the pasture without anybody reeling them in and learning them and teaching them how to do the nice walk or tricks or measurement. You know, horses are beautiful and powerful when they run at full speed. I mean, I'm sure they should feel that way when they can just do whatever they are meant to be and do and feel like. Anyways, when I was a child, I was speaking non-stop. And when I say speaking non-stop, it's like to the point when I almost caused car accidents. My father would ask me to make a minute of silence so he could focus and not crash the car. Or I would put people to sleep who were trying to put me to sleep, but I won. And I would be always talking. I mean, yeah, you do have to, I guess, learn to cut the flow, but why? I mean, yes, I get that because I met another person in my life later on, which I really love, and he talks as much as I used to talk. He overtalks me so much, and I guess I was given a doses of what I'm like. Anyways, but that's not the point. The point is that I have been for the last many years learning a lot about communication and, you know, letting other people talk and shut up, making me shut up, and listen and doing a lot of listening and doing a lot of learning on, you know, not be the only person who talks about anything and rambling. I ramble a lot, and I have been so super conscious of being a trained horse, and it became kind of exhausting. And then just like that, you know, I used to have friends to whom I could be telling them with all the passion in the world about the things that crossed my mind, the thoughts and the latest thing I read and all of my thoughts and all of that. It wasn't that long ago, like, anyways, that's not fun. I think it was all my life. Oh man, poor people. I understand. Anyways, the point of this video is that it felt good to talk a lot. Again, I guess it's balance. You need to listen a lot, and I'm actively learning how to listen and actively learning a lot of things, and I'm genuinely passionate about communication. Who, me? Yes, I'm genuinely passionate about communication. Everything I become passionate about in my life, it's due to well, sometimes, not all the time, because I did become genuinely passionate about trees, and I didn't have a problem with trees or trees with me, and I became passionate about trees. But some of the things that I become passionate about in my life is because I have gone through some sort of a problem. For example, when I had hormone imbalance, I studied a lot about hormones and endocrinology and everything related to the body, and then I became really excited about body and nutrition and biohacking and all of that. So yes, that was that. And when I was in my very difficult relationship in Poland, I became very passionate about understanding two people understanding each other and communication. I did have 8 years of that training anyways, and so far now, until now, not only when the relationship ended. But my point is that I did become very passionate about all the components and elements of communication, which is not only talking, there is also some portion of listening. I would argue that it's a lot of listening. Most of it is listening. Then I went and I did a course on coaching, and with this very amazing lady, which I don't remember right now the name. Anyways, I did a very expensive course, and when I did this very expensive course on coaching, most of their teaching was about how to shut up. That was incredible. It was so fucking uncomfortable. I had to shut up a lot, like all the time. Like the best work you are doing when you are coaching somebody is like mostly you shut up and they talk. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with that one. But I was like, it was like a really nice bucket of cold water. Anyways, yes, passionate about communication and all of the components. but it's not only communication, working oneself and being aware of a lot of things and your perspectives and your rambling thoughts and your unconscious thoughts and blah blah blah, all of that. It's me super feeling. I'm a super feeling person. If I feel woo, very big, I'm very big, and all of the directions. Anyways, I'm controlling all of those super feelings, and the way you deliver them is like giving them, but you feel massively, but you have to dose those feelings in drops, and your feelings are very big. But I used to think that having big feelings was actually I honestly used to think that having big feelings was a hindrance because, well, my father, who was like one of my role models, one seriously because my mother is the other one, but for the most part of my growing up, I didn't appreciate my mom's role modelness, which is like amazing. She's also the opposite of my dad. Who would have thought? I'm so like her. I was like in my journal, I don't want to be like my mom when I grow up. Yes, my favorite is my dad, who I would be chasing all the time, but that's like a tangent. My point is that my father was like the opposite of my mom. My mom was like a volcano, and my dad was like a very controlled iceberg. Anyways, he was like very composed, and he was very charismatic and very politician-y. He was a politician, and he was giving amazing speeches and all of that, but he was always so composed inside. He had also big feelings. He just stares at you, he glares at you, and he melts you down. But the point is that I would just be angry and I would cry and I would scream, or I would laugh, or I would just express all of these emotions. Or when I was having a conversation with my dad, let's say I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, and all of that, I would always lose the arguments. And then when I get angry and frustrated, I would just lose the train of thoughts, and then all my emotions would go floating like a tsunami, and then I couldn't have rational thoughts and form the sentences. And I did have them inside, I just didn't have words to put out in the arguments that I was trying to establish with him. A person whose livelihood it's about having successful conversations with other people, and he's super prepared on that, and he's naturally gifted at that, and he just gives speeches on regular basis. And well, that was the person that I was comparing myself to. No wonder. And I was thinking, I should be more like my father. I should shut off the feelings inside a black box, close the lid, and forget it about them, because you cannot be swept away by your feelings. You need to raise your feelings under control. Anyway, so I thought like my feelings were a hindrance. Later on in life, I learned that the feelings are not a hindrance. It's just that you need to learn to use them like tools. So, I love anime and manga, and my metaphor for that, it's like in the anime, you have the healers, everything is with mana, and everything is to have everything under control, and then with that you can release a little bit or you can release a lot. So I was just like releasing a lot by default, and then I learned that sometimes you need a scalpel, tiny little scalpel to cut sharp and deep, or sometimes you need like a hammer, or sometimes you need like something really big and you just unleash all your feelings, and sometimes you just need like a katana, and sometimes you just need an umbrella, and so on and so forth. And my point being that feelings are not a hindrance. It's just like the training of learning to express them, to channel them without harming others or yourself. Not like I ever harm myself. And others, I mean by saying things that you don't mean, like verbally, and being mean or rude or things like that. That's what I mean. Hurting emotionally other people because you just cannot control it. Anyway, all that, a lot of work. And my point being, it's a lot of work and it's exhausting, and it's been a while since I can just be without concerning myself of, am I talking too much and people will run away, or am I taking too much space and people will run away, or am I doing all of the things that I have been trying to learn to dose and control, and it's exhausting. And sometimes you just want to be you and just let it go and just talk and just lose your temper and not to be concerned if you're gonna lose your friends and stuff. Yeah, it's not like I have a lot of those here in this particular location where I'm at, or a lot of those deep connection friends. And I do want to have like people that I can just talk my mind off and just feeling like I'm talking to myself. That I think was someone like Frank Kafka said, or somebody said, I wish to have one person to which you could talk like you talk to yourself. Yeah, that would be nice. I do have friends in places that you can call to, and like one or two friends here, and I'm super happy and thankful for. And all this started by saying that I was very happy to just talk and talk and talk and talk. So maybe I should use a camera and talk out loud to the void, to let my thoughts flow. And on that note, that expressing for me is very important, and it always helps me to sort out all the inner or under thing that is going on. So it helps me like to let everything go, and then I can see better what is beneath the thing that provoked the feeling. So actually talking, writing, talking to a person or not a person, I don't always have a person available, and to talk everything out, or I don't want to talk to a person and I just want to talk to myself. And anyways, talking and memoing or writing or any way of expressing is always helpful. And it was just very nice and refreshing that I could do that out loud and in the previous talk. And also, not all my talks have to have a conclusion or a resolution about what I was thinking about. For example, solving my career problem. But even though I didn't have a resolution, I did feel good about just talking about it with no resolution. And I'm gathering and thinking that I will be talking about that quite a lot moving forward until that shifts or finds a resolution and changes. Yep. Yeah, I wanted to say that too.